Hi everyone, welcome back to True Mommy. I hope you are all well. Let's get into this video.
And she was told, you can't marry somebody white. She joins us now from American Fork, Utah. Glad to have you on the show. So you were actually told that by church officials?
Yes.
So were you engaged with someone? Were you dating somebody, or were you just inquiring as to who you can marry?
So all of the above. So I joined the church when I was 18, and it's big to get married in the temples when you're Mormon. But the problem is that they were teaching that they're white, males not to marry black people, or anybody not to marry outside their race. They don't want blacks and black people and white people mixing because they said black people were cursed.
So this was actual teachings where you were going to temple?
Yes.
And when was this? How recent was this?
So 1990 is when I joined, but the teaching is still the same, that black people are cursed and that black people and white people shouldn't mixed. And they said that was because of the curse of Cain, because Cain and Abel, when Cain killed Abel, he received the curse. And the curse is put on black people from Cain. We're descendants of Cain.
Okay. So when did you inquire as to who you could marry?
Black's case, I don't know about that. But watching some of these videos that YouTube has been recommended to me, I begin to think, what is going on in the world? What has black people done to the world? Listen to this one as well.
We hadn't necessarily taken into consideration the cultural differences.
But those cultural differences weren't often talked about when Andrea signed up to the Homes for Ukraine scheme. She lives in a diverse part of Birmingham. After a week of staying there, her guest told her there were too many Muslims in the area.
We were quite shocked at how difficult she found different cultures.
She felt there were just too many Muslims.
Too many Muslims, too many people with different skin colours.
Her guest's son was enrolled into the local school, where the majority of children happened to be black and Asian.
And then to just have her complain about the demographic of the school and going, well, he can't be safe there. There's not enough white kids.
So what is going on here is the Ukrainian was placed with the white lady, but she thinks that the area is full of Muslims and blacks, so she doesn't like the area. So she left the house as a refugee. She doesn't like to stay in that area because of the culture differences. That's how they put it nicely, culture differences. So I made a video by title, Why Do We Travel? Why do we Africans travel? It's because of our leaders. You finish school, there's no job for you. Even travel from our own Africa country, from country to country, there is problem. How do we expect other people to respect us? If only our leaders can make things easier for us, I don't think we'll be going through what we are going through. In Ghana, when I was young, even till now, people travel to Ghana University to go to university in Ghana. We are the best. Nigeria is the best. Other countries are the best. But then we have to pay a lot of money to Europe and America to go to school there. Why? I know I'm asking why, but I know the reason why. Because we are having problems in our own Africa.
Video of another racist attack on black migrants in Tunisia. Such attacks are prohibited by law, but rights groups say they're condoned by the country's president. Last week, Kais Saied said, quote, hordes of sub-Saharan Africans were changing the demographic makeup of the country, sparking racist attacks throughout the nation. This is what is left of one black woman's home after it was ransacked. Black men and women say they are arbitrarily rounded up by police because of the color of their skin.
We really need help from all over the world because we are really suffering here.
Hundreds of Ivorians and Guineans are now being repatriated, some injured and unable to walk after the beatings.
We live in fear. People are scared to go out, even those that have the right paperwork. And for those that don't have visas, they get thrown out on the spot.
Many of them were hoping to make it to Europe. Most African migrants from Senegal and West Africa are not fleeing war, but poverty. But Europeans don't want them on their continent and have signed agreements with North African countries like Tunisia to stop them from crossing the Mediterranean. According to aid agencies, there are 30 to 50,000 African migrants living in Tunisia illegally. Tunisian rights activist Miriam Mastour says they are mistreated and do menial jobs that Tunisians don't want to do. She says she and her husband have also experienced abuse.
So racism has a long history in Tunisia against black people, even if black people are like 10 or 15% of the population. Now people in Tunisia are in a social and economic crisis, so the president he uses black people as a scapegoat.
Tunisians are out on the streets denouncing the attacks, holding signs saying, "Tunisians come in all colors." It's not only a reminder of the diversity of the country.
So about a year or so ago, we all saw the horrific scenes coming out of Ukraine of the African students and how they was trying to get out of, the war zone. And we saw how black people were thrown off of trains, that dogs and cats got to go on the train before black people. Black people were left. Black people was beaten. Black people had guns pointed at them because they were black and nothing else mattered but them folks getting out of there and leaving black people there. And at the time I said, what is black folk doing even in their country? Fix whatever situation in your country on the African continent, go to school there, promote things there. That's what I said at the time. We should not be in no European countries doing anything with them folks' history and how they have treated us. But I want you to hear a video of a sister that had got through the process in a European country right now and what she's facing and what the other brothers and sisters have been facing since they went to these other European countries. Let's roll that.
Thank you for having me. It's something I was never prepared for, and I really did consider Ukraine my home. So when we started facing so much hostility from Ukrainian people, we were taken aback. On our journey out, we had a gun held towards us, and the civilians told us if we don't leave within 5 minutes, they'll shoot us. And then when we finally reached the front of the queue, I was lunged at by a Ukrainian local, and I had to run back into the car, and the military just stood there and sniggered. So it was really, really horrific.
And it must have taken you a very long time, a long frightening time probably, to get to the border in the first place.
Yes, it took 6 days. We were in the car 9 kilometers away for 4 days until we reached the front. When we were reaching the passport control, there was a fence. So when you look to your right, there was just Ukrainian families and men, women, children. Then on our queue, it was just Black people, Asian people, Middle Eastern people. I think at that point, it dawned on everybody that we'd been segregated. And you could hear people saying, oh my gosh, this is so unfair. People started crying. There was children there. Because all along, we didn't know what was going on. Like you explained, it was chaos. So it was at that point when it dawned on us that, oh, it was segregation.
Corey.
It's been hard. It's been really, really hard. The outcome that I hoped for isn't the outcome that we've gotten. I would have hoped that we would have been able to continue with our education and this moment wouldn't have defined us. But unfortunately, most of us, including myself, we've been unable to carry on with our education. Most students are homeless, displaced, and are soon to be facing deportation within the next few weeks in the European countries that they've attempted to settle in. So it's been really, really hard.
You know, as Black people globally, all we have to do is work together. We don't need to be running to no Europe. We don't need to be running to no US, no Canada, nowhere else. We need to be working with each other. And that's the problem. You need to put aside your tribalism. And I know tribalism is in all through the Black world. Yes, we all are different. Oh, I'm not this person. I'm not that. They're not me. They're not like, listen, in the global scheme of things, everybody see you as black. In the African continent, y'all need to be working together. Running from your countries is not the thing to do, because you heard the sister say it. Some of them are homeless. Some of them are about to get deported, including this sister. Why go through all that when you can be back in your homeland and you fight for your homeland? You fight to make it a better place to be. Any country that's worth something, they had to fight for that. And if we get together within the countries and the diaspora, we all work together, of course, with those who want to do that. There are those who don't want nothing to do with that, and it's fine. You don't need the majority to make any change. The civil rights movement showed you that. You don't need the majority to make a change. You just need a strong contingent of black people to work together to make change that's going to affect everybody. Matter of fact, you don't want everybody involved, because all they're going to do is mess it up.
It's been hard. It's been really, really hard. The outcome that I hoped for isn't the outcome that we've gotten. I would have hoped that we would have been able to continue with our education and this moment wouldn't have defined us. But unfortunately, most of us, including myself, we've been unable to carry on with our education. Most students are homeless, displaced, and are soon to be facing deportation within the next few weeks in the European countries that they've attempted to settle in. So it's been really, really hard.
We need to work together to make everything better for us all. What about if more of us did it on a grander scale, working with each other, you know, making sure we can accomplish different things together? Because we can get a lot further together as black folks than apart. We can. Yeah, all these other groups, you see how when in Ukraine, it was all about their people. They wasn't about black folk. Well, black folks need to be the same thing in the same way. In the African continent, the Caribbean, etc., Latin America, Black America, we need to be about us and not worry about what other people. But especially us in America, for sure, we all this, we are the world. Oh, I want to include everybody, but everybody don't want to include you. And I'm a firm believer, like my grandfather say, treat people the way they treat you.
Thank you for your time for watching up to this stage. I hope you have taken one or two things. There is something going on in the world, definitely. We black people, some think we are cursed, and they are still going back to Africa, taking our resources, and we are running back to their country, even though they are rejecting us. So if you are watching this video, I hope you have think deep. I'm still having a feeling there is something going on. Who knows what is going on? But all that we need to know is when that day comes, like it has happened in Ukraine, we will be left behind. We will definitely be left behind, you know. So think about home. And if you just come to Europe or America, wherever, please, as you are enjoying, think about home. Because home is home. There's no place like home. You know, there's no place like home. Thank you, and I hope to see you soon.